Welcome to another episode of the 10,000. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Awesome. Doing great.
All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Okay, so it's last week we talked about some marketing stuff, right? So this week we're going to focus a little bit more in on how you go from like just a marketer to a top producer, or how do you take a client to a raving fan, or what can you do along the way to really like to turn this thing up a couple notches, right? Is that kind of the idea?
Yep.
All right, cool. So Tracy, I'm going to pass you the baton here, and you're going to kick us off with some thoughts, and then maybe a couple questions.
Yeah, excellent. One of the things that I was thinking about as I was kind of diving into this subject, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I would say I listen to them more today than I used to, because you get in your own bubble and you got to start thinking outside your own box. So I listened to this one podcast called Real Estate Rockstars. And in it, they were talking about the Jeff Bezos, what's known as the day one mentality. And so it's sort of the premise of what Amazon is based on. And it basically says this, it says, the principles are maintaining a long-term focus, obsessing over customers and their needs, and boldly innovating what their needs are. The day one mentality is both a culture and an operating model. So when we start thinking about our clients, and we start thinking about customers, I'm thinking about needs and identifying needs. And if we can be agents that focus on identifying our clients' needs and starting from that point and going forward, so whether you're a buyer or you're on the selling side or on the listing side, that's what you have to think about. That's the hat I think you have to wear, is who do you represent? How do you serve them? And from which place do you serve? What are their needs? And that should be the basis of the beginning of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you've got a client, right? They're your client. You work with them, you get them closed. How do you go from being closed to what you said, Paul, raving fan? How do you get them to wave your flag for you, right? You identified their problem. You were focused on the customer, but now the customer can be your fan. So how does one do that?
Oh,
which leads to referrals, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go, and this is the important thing, is you can take this question from a couple different angles, right? You can look at it from how well you communicated from start to finish, right? How were you ahead of it? When I was selling a lot more real estate, when I was early in my real estate career, which would have been like 2006, my father, Greg, said, if your client calls you asking questions about what's going to happen next, then you've dropped the ball and you should have been ahead of that. So an example of creating a raving fan would be always staying ahead of that ball, always anticipating the next couple of questions, and in delivering an excellent experience during the process. Because I can tell you guys, I don't know if you guys have, any of you have moved recently. I know, Doug, that you have for sure.
Yep.
A move is stressful.
It is.
You have fear around, is it going to appraise? What's going to come back from inspections? You have all of these fears and anxieties. And if you leave me to wonder, I'm going to go to worst case scenario.
Yep.
And so I think as professionals, one thing we can do early is we can understand that our clients are going to have these things in their lives and they're going to be thinking these things. So let's get ahead of it. That's one angle. So you can think of like, how well are you doing things like keeping them informed, right? There's Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Marketing Mary. She was on vacation last week.
Welcome back.
So, so what's another way other than like, delivering a flawless experience, I guess I would say. And if you don't know what a flawless experience is, I would challenge everyone watching to get a pen out, get a paper out, and run through what you think a flawless experience looks like, and then send it to one of us, and we'll tell you what we think of it. So just if you want to improve, like just try that. Okay, I'm going to let somebody else contribute to how to create a raving fan now.
So I would like to add a little bit. What I hear you saying, one of the ways, the biggest ways that I know of, especially in this crazy market, is communication. I just think of the buyers and sellers that I worked with this spring. Sometimes all I did was soothe them, because when you said worst case scenarios, what if it doesn't appraise? I had one client, she worried every day about things that didn't happen. So my mind goes to communication. I know Doug, you had another thought too.
Well, I said the same thing too. I mean, during the whole process, we think about how often people move. Not very often sometimes, right? So they don't even know what to expect. So that communication piece from start to finish is one piece that, again, I don't underestimate. I said, if we don't over communicate, and again, it has to start with us. We've got to own this process. We actually have to set the expectation as to how this is going to work. You're going to get weekly calls from me, however you guys choose to communicate with your people. It's just, you just can't over communicate enough during that process. After the process at closing, and I'm hoping everybody goes to closing. I know during COVID, obviously difficult times to try to get to a closing, but again, I use this word, adopt the client. Adoption, right? I was adopted when I was how many months old, but I'm still adopting clients to this day and age, right? So the things you can do from closing forward to just adopt them, bring them into the fold. And again, you know, this is where that referral piece comes in, right? To this day, I still get calls from people that are saying, hey, you know, you did a great job for my sister 6 months ago or a year ago, and now I want you to work with me. And that comes from that word adoption that you just can't, you can't say enough about that. And that begins, begins day one.
You do all of this work, right? And so one way to take what Doug is saying and kind of think about this again, I'm gonna find a couple different angles to reiterate that, because I think that's a great point, Doug. So Doug's saying adopt them, right? Make them yours. And another way to think about it is that the start of your relationship is the closing table. Not when you guys build your first search, not when you go to your first home to go view it. That's like the courting phases, right? That's like you're getting to know each other, you're learning if you like to work together, but think about it being a long-term relationship, right? And we've just culminated our relationship at the closing table. We are in a relationship now. Let's go. I'm going to be your realtor forever. Because, you know, the most successful realtors are not out there every single day reinventing the wheel. They're maximizing those opportunities and those clients and those referrals, right?
Yep.
And that's what raving fans do. Raving fans will tell people about you. If you have friends and family that are not telling their friends and family about you, then they are not your raving fan. So, like, don't lie to yourself thinking that everyone knows you're a realtor and everyone loves you and everyone's going to refer you, because it's not always true.
Right.
So let me tell you another concept about creating raving fans that I like to think about. So what they say is a lot of times is like when you have a really great experience, like a flawless experience, you don't really know what a bad experience looks like, right? So let's say I go and I don't know, I'm going to go, let's say I'm going to have new windows installed. And I just show up one day and the windows are installed and it's great. Wonderful. Oh, look, I have new windows. This is wonderful. I come home, open and close them, work perfectly. I'm like, got new windows, right? Now let's say there's a problem. And let's say one of the windows leaks. Let's say one of the windows doesn't open and close very well. Let's say there's an issue. How that company or that person handles that objection, that problem, is going to, so what happens is if you give someone a flawless experience, they're going to go, yeah, I had no problems with Tracy. She was great. But if Tracy comes in and solves this problem without making me solve it myself, now I go, Tracy is amazing because Tracy did X, Y, and Z when she didn't have to, when she went above and beyond what was expected, and she solved this problem in record time. It's like proven that in that experience, that person will tell like 10 times more people about the bad experience and how wonderful Tracy made it.
No question. Yeah.
So it's important that you don't leave them with the bag, so to speak. So let me give you an example. Portia this weekend, Portia Davis, I believe her last name is, right? So Portia had an experience where her buyers, think about this, guys. Her buyer's ceiling in the kitchen ended up on the floor on possession day. So she shows up and the floor from the kitchen is literally on the floor in the kitchen floor. So what Portia did over the weekend is Portia put her clients up in a hotel for 3 days, stepped up to the plate, helped solve the problem, right? Another example is when John Ardolino, his clients came into a house, the movers and the people who lived there previously got mud on the carpeting. Well, gosh darn it, those sellers should pay us to clean those carpets. We're going to go after those sellers. We're going to take those sellers to small claims court for $500 to get these carpets cleaned. I'm going to make your life, buyer, absolutely miserable for the next several weeks while we fight this out in small claims court. Or what John did was picked up the phone, called up the carpet cleaning company, paid to have the carpets cleaned, resolved the problem for his clients, and now has raving fans. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you have a choice in that moment as to what you're gonna do. So,
Yep.
yeah.
'Cause
So
you
you're a
could-
new
You
agent.
could just say, you could say to the buyer, you know what, I'm so sorry the seller's did that to you. I mean, here's a couple of phone numbers you could call. I mean, maybe some cleaners can get there same day. I mean, best of wishes. I mean, I got 6 cleaners you could call. Good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's gonna go over well. They're gonna remember
Papers
you.
there, right,
That's
Paul?
memorable.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking you're an NTI, you're a new to industry agent, right? You know, the entry point for real estate is really low, right? Like it's really easy. Doesn't take a lot of money to get into this business. It costs a little bit of money for tests and to join boards, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to get into. So you've got a few jobs when you get started. You need to learn how to be an agent, right? Then you need to learn how to be a listing agent. You need to learn how to be a buyer's agent. Then you need to know how to do those things better. You need to learn how to do them better than everybody else, because how are you going to stand out in a field of thousands of agents, right? So what are you going to do? You need to develop skills like how do you figure out what are the problems in real estate? Today, we would say, what are the problems? You either have too many buyers and not enough sellers, or the buyers are writing, you know, you're driving one person around to 50 houses, writing 12 offers. I mean, it seems it's settling a little bit, but then you have the sellers that are afraid to sell. So when you're trying to figure out a way to market yourself, I think you have to define what the problems are and then find a way to attract people who want to listen to, hey, they might have something to say about, like, I want to be a seller, right? To me, I want to be attracting sellers more than I want to be attracting buyers. And at the end of the day, when you're getting started, you're really just wanting to attract anyone. But to learn the listing side is obviously a good thing as well. And you know that that's in line where the problem is, right? Sellers are afraid to sell. So how do you do that? What do you do? Like, I'm thinking about, I hate to use Kelly as the example, but she's a great example of this right now. And if you watch,
for those of you who aren't aware, Kelly Kalish, we had her on yesterday on the live stream, so you can check that out too.
Yeah, but that's a really good example, don't you guys think, of somebody who was new to real estate, right? I think she learned the buy side, she learned the sell side. She identified the fact that she had skills, right? Her skills were marketing, but what she did is she didn't have a sphere of real estate influence. She just had some skills, and that was marketing, and that's what she did.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, one thing we know about, I mean, and again, we're talking right now more about attraction and sphere, right? We're not talking about pounding the pavement, knocking on doors right now, right? So I just want to be clear. This is more, marketing is more of an attractor. Marketing is a targeting of people. So versus a sales activity, which is picking up the phone and then, you know, whatever, maybe dialing for dollars or something like this, you know, right? Cold calling. So we're talking about marketing. When what we know about people and people who are brand new, like if you're a brand new agent, you have no clients right now, you don't have any past clients, you haven't adopted anybody yet, right?
Right.
So what? Adopt people that you know. Adopt people that aren't even working with you yet, right? As Tracy puts it, find out what they're thinking about, think about what they might be thinking about, and start delivering this information to them, start talking to them, start asking questions, start sharing things, and present yourself as someone who can bring value to that conversation. Because we all start somewhere. I just got a text message from John Kremer a few minutes ago. John, 1 year, sold 450 houses in a single year.
Wow.
John was new at one point. He sold his first house at one point, right? We are all starting here. So I just want you guys, I want you to think about, when we use the word clients, when you use these words clients, just think people. Think your family, friends, college, past employers, past employment, your coworkers. You know, my buddy Brandon Gardner, who's a realtor at 5 Star right now, right? I'm going to use him as an example here now. So we saw Kelly Kalish using her social media prowess. We saw her using video. Well, Brandon Gardner didn't have any video prowess, never really did any marketing. But Brandon Gardner was a bartender at a really nice local restaurant. So Brandon Gardner, who now is a successful realtor doing very well, he started while he was still bartending. And what he would do is, I'm looking around here for a prop. I don't have any props here. But what he would do is when he was going to give them their bill, and listen, think about being a bartender for a second here. You're getting to know these regulars very well.
Yep.
You're there on Friday night, Saturday night. You're there through it all, man. They had a bad day. They had a good day. You're there. So at the end of the day, when he gives them the bill, he goes, hey, you ready to check, ready to cash out? And they're like, yep. He's like, here. And he grabs his pen and he's like, why don't you use this pen?
Oh.
And it says Brandon Gardner, realtor. And they're like, no way, dude. Holy cow, you're a realtor? It's crazy, man. I would love to work with you. And Brandon has gotten so much business. And I'm telling you, it's not about your real estate prowess. That's not what makes agents successful. It certainly helps, but it's not what makes it successful. It's about finding opportunities, becoming a trusted advisor to somebody, knowing how to deliver information, and how to eventually convert that trust and that relationship into a transaction and into a relationship in real estate. So Kelly did a great job with it on video, and it's working for her. There's other ways. It's a pen, simple thing like a pen. People might say, oh, pens are just gimmicky, right? But used in the proper way, they're powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked yesterday as we were preparing about Marissa Harrington. Now she markets a whole different way, but when the offices were open, every day as I would come through the front desk, there would be 5 note cards addressed from Marissa Harrington to somebody. Clients, not clients. So everyone can do it different. And I watch her closings. Almost every time I'm there when there's a closing, her clients bring her gifts. I'm like, my clients don't bring me gifts. I bring them gifts. But they are raving fans of her. She loves on them. I don't know all that she does. I know we usually have some sort of a drive going on that she's, contributing to. She just really, so one of the things we talked about was that maybe we all do it very differently as well, right? Maybe someone who's been in the business a longer time, like myself, I'm not really comfortable with video. Tracy was saying she's not comfortable with it. But if you go to Marissa,
although here you are.
Here we are, right? Here we are. That's all because of Paul Carlson. We're here, right?
Thank you very much, Paul Carlson. That's right.
Yep. So, there are different ways. And I know, Tracy, you remember some of the things that we talked about yesterday. If you want to comment on those.
Yeah, I said one of the things that I do, and I've started doing, I did it a while ago and then I started doing it again. But when I write my anniversary cards to people, I just take the time, I do them monthly, and I take the time to write them a note, and then I stick a lottery ticket in it, a $1 lottery ticket. And at the top, I write a funny note about good luck and, whatever. But that note precipitates them to reach out to me.
Yep.
And many times it's like, hey, I won $5 or I won $1. Hey, I was really hopeful, but no, I didn't win anything, but I reached out to them and then they reach out to me. So I get like 2 sides of it, and it keeps the level of communication going. It's unexpected. It's appreciated, and it's a conversation starter.
I had a friend that sells a lot of real estate, and I helped her for a year or so back a few years ago. And she sent, some people you send out cards, and I would set up her campaign for her. So you can do these things in the winter so that they just roll when you're busy. And she sent out the $5 brownie, happy anniversary. And we set them up for first year, second year, third year. And I would watch, she'd pick up the phone and there would be one of her past clients saying, thank you so much. Who would send me a brownie but X agent? And then I would listen to her conversations and she'd get a referral out of that every single time. Like Tracy said, it starts a conversation. So it's just they're raving fans, right? And they also call her when they need a plumber or a roofer. She has become the hub. So that's one of the ways she continues to deliver service, right? So those are just a few ideas.
Well, and I think, Paul, what you said, right? I mean, at closing, and this is where I can't reiterate the importance of being at the closing, being relevant, being of value there. And again, that's where that relationship really begins, doesn't it? For me, I mean, I want to be a part of a conversation for real estate for years to come, but I don't necessarily need to do all the heavy lifting myself.
Right.
Think about that for a minute. You just want to be in a conversation. And I had one happen yesterday that people were talking and someone said, well, I need to move. Well, you need to call Doug Hale. Now, Doug Hale wasn't anywhere to be found, right? But yet I was a part of that conversation. And again, that goes back to that precipitates what happened at the closing. When you adopt those people, again, there's many, many people that are going to carry your message forward. And again, that's where those referrals just start to show the first.
That's a great habit for people to get into who are brand new to real estate, because I can tell you right now, I mean, I know we have a lot of extremely successful realtors here at 5-Star, but I will tell you that the number one thing that I see, the number one thing that I think people want to be better at almost universally is it's one of those things where everyone's like, oh yeah, follow up. Oh, right. And it's just one of those things. And I think that I think a lot of successful realtors are like, hey, I'm just so busy. I can barely keep my head above water. You know, I can't even think about following up right now. Totally understand that. But especially when you're brand new, think about what that looks like. And again, remember, I know you're brand new, so you don't have any clients to send follow-up to or talk to in terms of following up maybe quite yet. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to adopt Doug's term, adopt people around you and start following up with people that you haven't even sold a house to yet.
Exactly.
Build a plan, build a follow-up plan. Think of what communication looks like. I guess what I want to say is like, think about companies that, and I want everyone to think about this. Think about a company or an experience you had with a company where you are just like loyal to this company, and ask yourself why. Why are you loyal to this company or this brand or that thing? Why that coffee shop? Why this burger place? Ask me, I want to know why you're loyal to the brand you wear for your clothes, your watch, your purse, whatever.
Interesting.
Think about those things, why you're loyal to these things. And why, think about the last time you bought a car, the last time you've gotten a service and you thought it was incredible.
Yep.
And then literally take a pen and paper and start writing about why someone would feel the same way about you. You need to think about this because you are that company, you are that thing. And you have to shift your mind away from being like, I just help people buy and sell houses, to I am a service. I am a thing that someone is choosing. Okay. So I guess that would be kind of like my wish for people watching this thing, is to just stop and think about this, because every time you're not doing this, every time you're not thinking about this, every time you're just avoiding it, you're just hurting yourself. Because if you create something that we're like all these little things we talked about today, if you find a way to make it yours, like that's important. It's got to be yours, not Kelly's, not Brandon's, not Tracy's, not Kim's, not Doug's, yours. This is what marketing is. This is what creating raving fans looks like. This is how these agents get to top professional, because they think about these things, they care about these things, and they're not just, it's not just luck. You know, they're creating something great. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I think it is in a nutshell. So I would encourage everyone just to stop and think about it.
Yeah.
And again, don't limit yourself to thinking like, I don't have any past clients. That's okay. Make them up. Grab 100 of your best friends and they're your clients now. So treat them like they're your clients.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's just it. And as if you develop if you court these kinds of principles, keep fostering these kinds of principles, that you have good time management, you have systems, you follow them, right? Because once you do it, it's all replicatable. So while you're new to industry, you've got more time to do these things. Begin to set principles for your day. Doug Hale has talked about how he starts his day, what he does. And if you continue to do these kinds of processes and put systems in place that you follow, it's replicatable. You can do this over and over and over again. So.
You know, it might even create a problem for you where you have to have an admin and a buyer's agent maybe.
Right.
Well,
Well,
that would be a very good problem to have, right?
You might have a tax problem too. You know, you're having a little more taxes.
You got to pay more taxes now.
Well, even for new agents, if you just pick up the phone and just say, how are you doing? You know, I'm new to real estate. Just want to see if you have any questions, you know, real easy. Or, hey, how about if I buy a cup of coffee? Haven't seen you in a while. Let's catch up. As Paul was talking, I was thinking about my daughter. She owns a Big B coffee franchise. And they're just like 5 or 6 years in, 7 years in, I don't know. But you know, when the customer pulls up, she never missed a beat during COVID. They do have a drive-through, right? But
Mhm.
when I pull in, hey Kim, how are you today? You're gonna have that skinny caramel latte. They got it all going, right?
No
They
Kim's
know
order.
who you are, huh?
I said, I know your order now.
Yeah, and they know your name. Are you gonna have that today? We're getting that ready for you. How you doing today? Hey, here's your dog, you know, Fido, here's a bone. I mean, it's just, it really is just a personal experience, right? With
And
our,
every business has a way to
Yes.
make that kind of connection, right? Like ours looks a little different than that, but that's
Right.
a great way for a coffee shop to
Yep.
build loyalty,
right.
right? It's
Loyalty.
awesome.
Well, I think if one of our agents, I'll go and, you know, a lot of agents aren't in the office these days because of COVID, and they just haven't, some of them haven't come back. But I'll see the door open and I'll see these little packages all lined up. And I always want to go peek in there and say, what are you doing today? And they do this thing called pop buys. And the last one I peeked in had one of the newer agents on the team loves dogs. And they did a little saying about dogs. And I wish I was so creative to remember. I tried to take a little picture of it just so I can quote it. And it had like a dog bone and a little dog frisbee. And they each of the team members, I don't know how they rotate, but they do little pop buys. They leave them on the porch. They're not trying to knock on the door and have a conversation, but it's just a little, hey, and it does create conversations, and they do little things like that too.
Yep.
And that's kind of a fun thing that we can do in real estate,
Mhm.
right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I would say in finishing, because we're kind of getting to the end of our time, we want to be respectful of that. I'm going to echo what Kim just said on 2 points. Number one was the pop buys, which she had to spell that for me yesterday. P-O-P.
Like Popeyes.
what? Say it
Popeyes.
again.
Chicken.
But the
Chicken.
pop buys and also the coffee experience. And the day one mentality is truly about customer experience.
Mhm.
And if we can create a culture at 5 Star Real Estate of agents who are focused on customer experience and using all the tools that they have in marketing, we too can provide the kind of excellence in customer service that the day one mentality really represents. So,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I
All
think what I hear you saying too in closing is it's one way that you can stand out,
Yeah.
right? You
Yep.
can stand out by staying in touch with them and creating this experience for them. So
good.
great topic.
And really quickly here, only 6% of realtors will continually consistently follow up with their past clients, which means there's a giant opening for all of you to step in. And as Tracy and the whole team's put it here, go right past all of the realtors. There's opportunity in front of you every day. Create an amazing customer experience and go after it.
You say 6%?
Only
Yep.
6% of realtors actually consistently follow up.
What are they?
So,
thinking?
when you see people like this is the thing, I guess we're going to say one more thing before we go here, but you see these realtors who show up and have an amazing, and all of a sudden they break records, right? Like I just sat with a guy yesterday who we've been talking to about joining 5 Star. He's averaging $1 million a month. He's contracted $12 million in his first year. He's been in real estate since December.
Wow.
And he's averaging $1 million a month. No real estate experience, never sold a house before, never done this, but he's doing it all through video, social. He's smiling, he's shaking hands, he's out there, no cold calling. He's just out there. I can't say his name right now because we're in a conversation with him, but go after it, right? Get out there. But yeah, I mean, so you can do it. You don't have to have all the experience in the world. That's why we're here to help you learn along the way, right? And that's why we have the deal doctors help keep you out of trouble. So you can jump in with both feet, and we'll be here to help you along the way.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
So
Awesome.
all right, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey,
All right. Have a great day.
always good. Always good. All right.
See ya.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye-bye.